Stage 8, the preparation of habitation. At this stage, the earth exists, the light of the sun shines, stage 5, and the spirit has descended into individuated souls, stage 6 to 7. But the earth is still without a coherent structure for life. Chaos into order. Again, just as stage 4 shaped the primal chaos of matter into a planet and solar system, stage 8 now shapes the environment of that planet for habitation. It's a second act of ordering, but now with intention for life's arrival. The layering of realms. Air becomes a breathable atmosphere, the unseen veil where winged beings will one day take flight. Water becomes contained seas, rivers, and oceans, where currents and tides prepare the womb of aquatic life. Land rises distinct from water, forming habitats, ecosystems, and future sanctuaries for terrestrial life. This is a cosmic blueprint. Before life arrives, creation drafts a map of dwelling. This is not yet the seeding of life, but the allocation of realms. Like a city planner preparing districts before the first house is built, Ramaseti ensures there is place, rhythm, and boundary. Biblical parallels. Genesis 1:2-10. The earth was without form and void, and God divided the waters from the waters and let the dry land appear. This stage echoes the separation and ordering that makes the world inhabitable. Philosophical insight. Stage 8 is about potential being housed. Spirit has condensed into souls, but the body of life, stage 10+, cannot yet emerge without an ordered dwelling. It's the architecture of nature's temple. Up to stage 7, spirit, Ramaseti, had already individuated into souls and layered its awareness into metaconscious, emotional, and reflexive bands. But these souls still exist in a non-habitated, unanchored state. Stage 8 completes the bridge between soul and body by preparing the cosmic vessel, a structured world through which these souls will later incarnate. So stage 8 is not biological yet, but it is geological and ecological. It's the precondition of embodiment. At this stage, Ramaseti performs an act of cosmic compassion, creating boundaries so that chaos doesn't devour what's coming next. Without these separations, air/water/land, life could never differentiate itself. It would drown in homogeneity. Order becomes the womb of individuality. The meta pattern. This echoes a universal principle. Every descent of spirit requires a scaffolding of order. Stage 4 did it at the scale of cosmos, matter organized into systems. Stage 8 repeats it at the scale of environment, matter organized into habitats. Later, stage 10 to 12 will do the same within living forms and civilizations. Symbolic parallel stage 8 corresponds archetypally to the earth element, structure, stability, and preparation for habitation, and also psychologically to the formation of context. Before a soul can incarnate, it must have its world prepared. Before awareness can awaken, it must have a framework of meaning. What came before? By the end of stage 7, you have individuated souls, spiritual units of consciousness, and a physical planet. But there is a disconnect. A soul cannot interact with a raw, undifferentiated mass of elements. There is no interface. The problem: how does a non-physical soul engage with a physical world? It needs a medium, a set of rules, and a variety of conditions to facilitate that relationship. Pure spirit and pure matter are two ends of a spectrum. They need a bridge. The solution, stage 8, creates that bridge by engineering the in-between realm, the environment. It creates gradients, boundaries, and ecosystems that will later serve as the interface for sensory experience. This stage is a repeat of the primordial act of separation, as in stage 2 and stage 4, but with a new specific purpose. Stage 2, duality. Separated unity into energy and void to create the potential for relationship. Stage 4, cosmic order. Separated chaotic matter into celestial bodies to create stable platforms for complexity. Stage 8, environmental order. Separates the planetary mass into land, water, and air to create distinct realms of experience. Land is the principle of resistance and form. Land is the first experience of solidity, boundary, and weight. It introduces the concept of here versus there. In the absence of land, everything blends. but with it, creation gains definition. Ontologically, land marks the beginning of separation within unity, the spirit learning to experience itself as distinct forms. Psychologically, land is structure, the capacity to hold identity. It teaches the soul how to say, I am this. Energetically, it corresponds to the root principle, grounding, stability, and endurance. Spiritual metaphor. Resistance is not opposition, but revelation. Through resistance, awareness discovers its own contour. Inward reflection. To stand upon the land is to stand upon the will of spirit made solid, consciousness encountering its own density. Water is the principle of flow and connection. Water balances the rigidity of land with movement, emotion, and relationship. It binds what land divides, ensuring that differentiation doesn't become isolation. Ontologically, water carries the memory of spirit. It flows through everything, softening form into communion. Psychologically, it is feeling and empathy, the ability of consciousness to sense beyond itself. Energetically, water aligns with continuity, adaptation, and purification. Spiritual metaphor. To know emotion is to know that form still feels. To flow is to remember unity within diversity. Inward reflection. Water reminds consciousness that separation is only apparent, that beneath the surface all streams return to one ocean. Air is the principle of invisibility and exchange. Air introduces the unseen realm of communication, thought, and breath. It is the most subtle of the three habitats, the medium of transmission between realms. Ontologically, air is the field of exchange, where spirit still whispers to matter. It's the bridge between the visible and the invisible. Psychologically, air becomes intellect, imagination, and language, the tools by which consciousness interprets itself. Energetically, it corresponds to movement, expression, and renewal. Spiritual metaphor. Air is spirit's persistence. Though unseen, it animates all. Breath is the body's proof of the divine circulation. Inward reflection. To breathe is to participate in spirit's endless dialogue with itself. The inhalation of form, the exhalation of essence. The Trinitarian relationship land gives structure. Water gives continuity. Air gives communication. Together they form a living triad: body, land, emotion, water, and mind, air. Stage 8, therefore, is not only environmental ordering, but also the encoding of experience itself, the template for embodiment and consciousness to interact. This tripartite structure is the fundamental sensory and experiential lexicon for all future life. Stage 8 is the construction of the cosmic womb. Its logic is that of preparation and potential. It is procreative, not yet generative. The womb does not create the child. It provides the perfectly conditioned environment for the child to grow. Similarly, stage 8 does not create life. That's stage 10 plus. It creates the conditions of possibility for life. The blueprint is now physical. The abstract spiritual blueprint of Ramaseti begins to imprint itself directly onto the planet. The ordering is the physical manifestation of divine intelligence. Logic made landscape. This is the most elegant part of the Ramaseti cosmology system's logic. Stage 8 is an emergent property of the previous stages. Stage 1 to 3, the Trinity, establish the principles of being, active, receptive, and the intelligent force that binds them. Stage 4 to 5, cosmos and light, establish the theater of being, a material universe with an energy source. Stage 6 to 7, soul and metaconsciousness, establish the actors of being, conscious beings capable of experience. Stage 8 is the inevitable convergence. The actors need a stage within the theater to perform the principles. The logic is one of convergence and integration. The soul, having achieved individuation, now calls forth a world detailed enough to explore that individuation. The purpose of the entire descent is for Ramaseti to know itself through experience. Stage 8's logic is that experience requires dimensionality. A soul cannot experience flow without rivers and oceans. It cannot experience ascent without mountains and skies. It cannot experience community or separation without distinct habitats and boundaries. Therefore, Stage 8's purpose is to install the dimensional parameters of experience itself. It is the stage where the universe builds its own sensory apparatus. In a single sentence, the logic of Stage 8 is, consciousness, having individuated into souls, now structures matter into a multidimensional interface so that it may begin the tangible experience of itself. This is why it's not just making the planet pretty. It is a fundamental, logical, and necessary step in the self-realization of the cosmos. We are not just describing creation, we are describing the inevitable logic of awareness itself. So in this Stage 8, the preparation of habitation, the Earth stands formed yet unstructured, a stage lit by the sun but awaiting order. Rama Sati, having descended through spirit and soul, now turns toward the Earth to carve realms of dwelling. Air becomes the invisible field of breath and motion. Waters gather into basins, currents, and wombs of potential. Land rises, dry and firm, to host the future walkers of creation. Here the universe becomes a planner of life, drafting zones, setting rhythms, defining boundaries. Chaos yields once more to order, and order to purpose. Before the first heartbeat, there must be a home for it to echo within.